3, 2.
Oh, wait, hold on. All right. I'm ready now.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, we are clear. Ready to go live in 5, 4. Cue the talent. 3. Hey, I said cue the talent. 2 and 1. Attention hobbyists, sports fans, and collectors nationwide and abroad. It's time to get hype. About the hobby we are all a part of. Live from the Mojo Break Studios, it's Dan and Doug. Check it out. Come on! So, get hype. Be hype. This is The Hype.
What is going down, everybody? Mojo Break the Hype podcast number 71. I'm so excited about this episode. I can't even talk. I'm also excited about winning a football game on Sunday. C-Rad, how does that feel, dude? How does it feel to win last Sunday? Dan doesn't know how that feels, man.
I've won 11 times.
Well, but you didn't win
not
last
me,
weekend.
not
What have
me.
you done for me lately?
Not me personally, and I don't think you won a game personally.
I did. That's why I'm wearing the Niner sweatshirt right now.
I mean, it was C-Rat out there, throwing the rock instead of the great David Carr.
He was right behind Chucky, coaching him up.
And I know it's Derek, but
slapping asses, kissing backs.
Whoa.
He was getting the team ready to win the game, and they beat the Steelers. Niners beat the Broncos, and there's a new top team in the NFC, and it's the Bears. So props to you, Bear fans. That looks like you guys have taken over that top spot from the Rams in the NFC. I mean, it's you got to be the best. You got to beat the best.
It was cold. It was cold outside.
Oh, that's the excuse, huh?
It was cold.
Just these guys have never played in cold weather ever. Jared Goff has never played a game in the cold.
Not when you're hanging out in sunny Southern California, and then you have to go to like Chicago where it's 18 degrees. Nah, it sucks.
So you're saying you better hope that they don't play a cold weather game in the playoffs?
Absolutely. Need a home field advantage.
Okay. All right. Well, new top team. Congrats, Bears fans. A lot to be excited about over there in Chicago with Trubisky, Khalil Mack doing work. So that made me happy. It was a good Sunday. It was a good
man. I think it's
Sunday.
April. You're looking forward to April, right? It's the draft. April, May. Something
Well, we got the second pick, so yes.
Dude, it's going to be Raiders, Niners. It's like a Bay Area draft, man.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have some parties.
I think the Raiders I think they have like 13 picks in the first round, so.
It's going to be exciting April for sure. So thanks for joining The Hype. We've got some excellent topics today. We're going to talk about Mark Jackson. We're going to talk about Transcendent Baseball, which comes out on Friday, the highest-end product in this entire hobby. We'll break down the checklist, talk about doing breaks with it. We'll also talk about Bowman Draft. And we posed a question in Facebook, and we'll talk about that later in the show. If you could spend $5,000 on one card, what would it be? Don't answer now. Save it for the segment. And also, if you could add into the content on Facebook, there's been a lot of people replying with their picks for who they would pick for what they would buy with $5,000 for one card. So we'll jump right into Mark Jackson. This made news. It actually made national news. Mark Jackson's 91-92 Hoops card resurfaced, and it's got the Menendez brothers sitting on the sideline, clearly on the card. And I don't know why it took us like almost 30 years to figure out the Menendez brothers were on this card. But I guess they linked it back, and it was after the parents died. So it was that 7-month period before they got tried and arrested and whatnot. Most of us know the story. But they were sitting courtside. I guess they spent like $700,000 or something crazy in the course of 7 months of their parents' money while they were, going YOLO around that time. But so it took a card that was probably selling for like a quarter, and it moved all the way up. It was selling for like $40, which was crazy.
Is that a Madison Square Garden?
It is. Madison Square Garden. So, what do you guys think? Is this a card you'd want in your collection? Why was there such a buzz about this Mark Jackson card? 30 years later, you could have been stockpiling these for this day or last week whenever this popped off. You could have been stockpiling these for, God knows, you could probably buy a box for $5 and get 10 of them, and then sell these for like $30. So I don't quite understand it. I mean, I don't know why people want stuff like this. I mean, what do you think the draw is?
It's a piece of history. Kind of, symbolizes a time and place. I mean, I get it, but does that mean you go through all your older cards and start looking in the background to see if you can find some famous people?
Maybe. It might spur a whole other kind of collecting community of famous photos and the famous people in the background of photos. The next photo I showed was actually Patrick Kane watching a game while he was a child. He's the kid on the lap. So that caught a little bit of buzz when people figured that out, that he was...
well, you can all... There's also... there's that famous picture of Brandon Crawford at, I think it was 92, before the Giants moved to... when the Giants were thinking about moving to Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a picture of Brandon Crawford holding up a sign at the game saying, don't leave.
Move. But he didn't make a card with that.
He didn't make a card, but I mean, the photo's out there. I mean... It was on like San Jose Mercury News or San Francisco Chronicle or something.
Interesting. And yes, I'm corrected. I said 91-92. It's 90-91 on that Mark Jackson Hoops card. I'm sure we all have it. We bought a storage locker. We have a lot of cards like that I'm sure we have a few of them of the Menendez brothers on the background of a card. Well, since there's been a rash of these being posted on eBay, eBay has actually blocked cards on eBay because it says Menendez brothers. They issued a statement saying that they don't allow the sale of anything involving in murder cases, serial killers, or anything on eBay. So this one got sold before they started pulling things down. So what you have now is you have sellers that are not putting it in the title, or like this listing here. Sorry if you're watching the podcast. Somebody listed it up and they put a question mark over their face, so that you're like, that's the card you're looking for, I guess, if you're in the mood of collecting Mark Jackson Menendez brothers. Now, my other question is, what if
I thought they were flagging it based on the title? They're flagging it on the photo itself.
No. They're flagging it based on the title, but I think that person decided to be creative and put a question mark. So if you're looking for that card, you're making sure you're getting that right card.
It's a chargeback waiting to happen, because you get that card and you're like, well, where's the question mark in the card?
Right. I know. Well, also, would it be worth more if it was a different player? That's my other question. If it was Michael Jordan on that card, Menendez brothers in the background, would it be worth more than $40? Do you think it would be like $1,000 card? What do you guys think?
I think anything with Jordan. Anything with Jordan.
But you got Jordan and the Menendez brothers.
Pick another player that's not Jordan. That was at that time, that was one of the best players in the league. Let's say like Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay.
I don't think it would go for much more. But I think Jordan is not a fair comparison, because everything Jordan sells. Probably the 90-91 Hoops Jordan probably sells for $5, as opposed to any other card in that set probably sells for 5 cents.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because it's Jordan. But I was just saying, what if it was a perfect storm and we had Menendez brothers on with a superstar? Or let's say it was a rookie card of, I don't know, like Sean Kemp or somebody. I don't think that was exactly the right time period. But if it was a rookie card, then you could say it was a Menendez brothers rookie card, because not only is it a rookie card for the player, but it's a Menendez brothers rookie card. So it's kind of crazy. It's got me. I started doing some research on things that people collect, and and I'm going to pose this question to you guys on Facebook and you guys that are watching on YouTube. Is there something that you collect that's outside of sports cards that's maybe weird, maybe not? Like I know I've heard some people collect fingernail clippings. I don't know why, but some people do. There's also a whole other industry, since you can't sell it on eBay. There's an industry of people that do collect murder memorabilia. And I did just a little bit of brief research. There's a whole site, and this is just an example. There was a 1977 Ted Bundy wanted poster that they were selling for over $400. One of the biggest sales of all time was Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby's gun that killed Oswald in the whole Kennedy thing. Originally sold for $200,000 in 1991. A guy resold it in 2008 for over $2 million. So just a Colt Cobra gun that was involved with killing Oswald in the Kennedy thing. So I know John Davis from Korn is a big murder memorabilia collector. And I think Marilyn Manson dabbles into it a little bit as well. What do you guys think? Is it weird? Is it weird to have, what is the motivation to have like a murder weapon or something involved with a murder? What is that? What is the taboo about it? Is it a have your friends over conversation type of piece?
Maybe.
But if you went to
I think there's some pretty big podcasts as well that just kind of talk about this type of stuff as well. I think I can't remember the actual podcast, but I think there is one that's pretty big. And they talk about
murder stuff,
murder stuff, serial killers, stuff like that.
I'm intrigued by learning about their motives of why they did what they did, and a lot of them, unfortunately, take their lives before they can kind of explain themselves. But that's intriguing to me. But I don't know if I'd want to own a bloody glove or a murder weapon and have people come over to my house and be like, what's that? You're like, oh, that's a gun that killed 25 people. And you're like, ooh. And people look at you and they're like, maybe this guy's going to kill me. I should probably leave leave his house right now. But is there anything that you guys collect weird? C-Rad, do you collect anything weird?
Hell to the no.
No. I like to collect. It's not weird, but outside of sports cards, I haven't done it in a while, but I like to buy tickets, like World Series tickets, which is along the lines of sports cards.
That's pretty damn close, dude.
It is. It's pretty close. I know the Funko Pop things are huge. A lot of people like to collect those, but what's the weirdest thing you think that people collect out there? Anybody have any ideas?
I kind of got one. I tend to collect coffee mugs.
Okay.
From different areas that I've been.
Used?
No,
Oh.
Brand new
coffee mugs.
Yeah, but I think that's fairly common. I just every different city I go to, I usually get a coffee mug.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have them hanging all over our kitchen.
I do that with magnets. So because it's like my laziness. I'm at the airport flying back from wherever I'm at, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna get a magnet. It's the easiest thing to get at a gift shop. There's a bunch of them. So I've got one from Atlanta. I've got one from Philadelphia, all the places we've been. I always try Arizona, try to get a magnet. It goes on the fridge, but that's about it. I know a lot of people collect shot glasses too. That's a popular thing to collect. But I wanted to see what you guys weighed in on the Menendez brothers. What would you pay? Would you pay $40 for this card just to have it and say like, wow, look at that? That is a time period where they killed their parents allegedly, and now they're sitting courtside at a game before they were convicted.
Oh, mama, there goes that man.
Mark Jackson. Well, the ironic thing too is that Mark Jackson always signs "God bless you," and then on his card, one of his cards, he has murderers, which is, it's just irony because there's not many people that sign. Every time they sign something on it, and Mark Jackson is one of those guys that every one of his cards says "God bless you" on it.
I do have another thing I collect, and long arms. Kind of the same thing. He collects Mojo Break shirts. I collect Panini shirts. I have a crap ton of Panini America shirts from every event that we've done.
And what do you do with them? You stare at them? They're on the wall?
I wear them.
Wear them? I don't see you wear them.
So
I see you wear
so
some.
maybe I can't say I collect them.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
wear them.
I wear them, but I have a shit ton.
Is it okay to collect game used jerseys and wear them? Is that acceptable?
Depends on who it is. It's probably not going to fit a lot of
It's a question I thought of off the top of the dome. So, but yeah, Menendez, we're probably already tired of talking about it because it's been all over social media, but I felt like we had to at least bring it up and talk about it because it's in that moment of when it happened.
It's hot for about a week. Those cards are going to level out. They're going to be $3 cards in about 4 months.
Yeah, probably less. We were talking about it in the chat during the playbook break, which check out mojobreak.com for today's playbook breaks, NFL 2018. Ridiculous stuff, so get your teams in on that. And also Elite Extra Edition comes out today as well, which is 10 hits a box. We're doing 10 box random team style breaks. That's 100 hits at a little under $40. It's insane, and there's all the big name draft picks in there. Do you think the photographer, we were talking about this yesterday off air, do you think the photographer on that, they took that knowing that those guys were there? to get them on the card, or was it just a simple chance?
I think it was a chance. Now, whoever decides what photo to use for a card, maybe they noticed it and went with it. But the photographer is just snapping photos.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the photo was more about Mark Jackson than what was in the background. But when it comes to the process of who picks which photo is going to go into the card, that person may have been like, "Hey, there's the Menendez brothers back there. Let's use that one." But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, back to the eBay thing too. O.J. Simpson's cards, I think they don't pull those, right? So I mean, I know he obviously didn't get convicted in federal court, but he got convicted in civil court for a murder. But Ray Caruth, somebody brought that up in the chat. Can you sell Ray Caruth cards? Will they pull Ray Caruth cards?
Can you sell Aaron Hernandez cards?
No, I know they included him. So I know I heard that you cannot sell Aaron Hernandez cards.
Dude, go on eBay. There's a crap ton of Aaron Hernandez cards. There's always been.
Well, maybe if somebody maybe they don't know unless somebody flags it. So if somebody is that guy, who flags your card, then maybe they do pull it down. I don't know.
The eBay police?
The eBay police. Card cops. Card cops out there. So, but interesting thing that happened. Menendez, bringing that back. Reminiscent about that time. If you guys are our age or older, you remember that whole thing and then all the regurgitations of the movies that came out and the stories and the shows that came out about it. So kind of interesting. So I wanted to move on to Transcendent Baseball. It's coming out this Friday, guys. They only made 83 cases of it. It is the highest end product in the hobby. So it's got a $29,000 a box / case because it's only one box case price tag. So this year, if you didn't listen to our prior podcast or you haven't heard, the VIP pass is to go hang out with Mike Trout in Arizona, February 22nd. So invitation will be in each case. So there'll be 83 people going to that. What they've also done this year is they have a lot more guarantees on one-on-ones. It's the most one-on-ones I've seen in a Transcendent set in the 3 years they've had it. So you're guaranteed a 1952 Superfractor. You're also guaranteed a one-on-one either patch auto or book. You're guaranteed a one-on-one sketch or reproduction card. You're guaranteed a one-on-one Mike Trout card, and you're guaranteed a one-of-one oversized cut. So there's a lot of one-on-ones, a lot of value to be had. I think it's the best one, judging by the checklist and the rookie class that's coming into this. I think it's the best value of Transcendent they've had. But I wanted to dissect it with you guys and see what you guys think about it. We've got 2 cases breaking on Friday, and I was just analyzing it. It's there's a lot of interesting stuff in it. I mean, what have you seen so far with the buzz on Transcendent?
Well, they made 4 less cases this year than they made the previous year. I think it was 83 last year.
I think it was 87 because they did 87.
87.
Yeah. So they made 4 less cases.
87 this year's 83. I want to say the first year they did it, it was less. It was like 70 something.
Yeah, I think so.
The cards look amazing. I mean, if you haven't seen them, even the base cards look amazing. The sketch cards look really good, and I don't even like sketch cards. I'm not a big fan of them, but those sketch cards look good.
Yeah, they hire better artists for Transcendent than just me or Dan sending in pictures.
There's a handful of players that Topps gets to sign on a regular basis that probably are not gonna get the same value, but they do have. It seems like more rookie content this year, just based on how many rookies were performing this year. There's a Soto rookie auto.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Acuna rookie auto. Obviously, a Ohtani rookie auto and a Hoskins rookie auto.
Yep. And I think they actually have Frazier in there too, which is may not be
where
one you want.
I think the previous year, it was it just Judge and Bellinger?
Pretty much, yeah. Judge and Bellinger, and then Bryant's year, I can't even really remember who was the rookie then.
Yeah, I don't know. I think last year it was just Judge and Bellinger.
Yeah.
So you got more rookie content. These rookie cards should command a top dollar on the secondary market. So, and all of them. I mean, Soto, Robles, even Hoskins. Hoskins, I mean, they're talking about getting maybe Harper.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to definitely help his value a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, Philly's in the mix for getting Bryce Harper. We've got two different styles of breaks going on. We're doing a 58 spot break, which is $4.99 a spot, but you got to figure the case is $30,000, right? So what I was looking at, I was bringing it down. I'm like, how many winners and how many losers will we have in a 58 spot break, right? Just to kind of break it down for odds. So with the 58 spot break, we don't do any of the base cards individually. So you're going to get the base sets. So I just glanced over the checklist. Obviously, the Trout Pass is probably anywhere from $4 to $8,000, whatever that'll go for. So somebody's going to get that. A one-of-one oversized cut, in which we'll dive into the checklist after this as well. The one-on-one Mike Trout will go for a lot of money. The one-on-one patch auto or book will go for more than the spot. The one-on-one superfractor, sky's the limit on that with Jeter, Ohtani, all these guys on the checklist. The one-on-one original sketch will go for more than the spot. Sealed base sets of 50 cards will go for well more than the set. Sealed base set of the other sealed base set. So there's a 83 card base set and a 50 card base set, all numbered to 87 or 83. And if you get the 20, if we get the 27 or anybody's number on there, or 17 for Ohtani, those will hold even more value because those particular players will have their number on that edition. Jeter auto, Ichiro auto, Ohtani auto, Soto, Acuna, and Trout. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14, at least 14 spots that are going to do better than $4.99.
Where in last year you didn't have a chance to get a jersey or a number for Judge because
Right,
Judge is
99.
99. So Bellinger, I think you could.
Yeah. And what number is Soto? I don't think he's a high number either.
I don't think Soto's a high number either.
Same thing with Acuna. So you could get those sets, those base sets that have those rookie cards in there. It's even extra added value. I think last year the sets were going for like $3 or $4,000. But it's sealed. So this break we're sending the cards sealed. So like I said, it's $500 to buy in. I think the worst you could do, judging by some of the autos, is probably $50 to $60. That's probably the worst you could do. But maybe you could sell a Dave Winfield for more than $60 on day one or day two or whatever. But the sky's the limit on what you can get. I mean, if you get a Babe Ruth cut, John F. Kennedy cut, I mean, we're talking about once in a lifetime items. So actually, people get a little scared at the price tag, but this style of break, really, at $4.99, you're guaranteed an item. It's not like you're getting in something where 5 people win and 10 people get nothing. You're guaranteed, at the very worst, you're guaranteed an auto.
Now with the cut, I was looking over the checklist and it's solid. It's probably one of those things, though, that I don't know if people are going to be searching for a lot of those.
So you should, if you get one of the cuts,
so
you should
if you
probably
get
do
a cut auto, I would do a buy it now or best offer and do not run it at 99 cents for 7 days or whatever, because a lot of people are not going to be looking specifically for those subjects. So I would definitely you may have to wait for the right buyer, you may have to wait for the right price, but don't do an auction on it.
And Topps has released a checklist, so this is what we'll go into right now is what's on the checklist. So they have everything that you can get in the product on the checklist. And what I didn't mention either is within that 50-card auto set that you're going to get, there's also, I think, at least maybe 2 one-on-ones guaranteed in there, I believe. Don't quote me. At least one one-on-one.
I think it's one.
So, yeah, you could get an Ohtani. You could get, Jeter. You could get Ichiro, and those are going to go for a lot. So this first is just the base set, the Transcendent Icons base set, which is going to have a Rhys Hoskins, Glaber, Ohtani. These are the rookie cards we're mentioning. You can see it on the screen if you're listening on a podcast. We'll do our best to describe. Devers has a rookie card in there. Scrolling through. Acuna has a rookie. And then they have the Origin Reproductions, which are usually a Moments or something like that. All the big names on there. Judge, Feller, Harper. You kind of scroll through. So those are the 2 base sets that you have in there. And then we're going to get into some of the juicier stuff after the sketches. We have the autos and the auto patches and the cuts coming up. And we can kind of discuss and see what you guys like. What cut would you like to pull? I mean, what cut, what auto patch would you like to pull? So here's the autographs. And what I did notice that they do double up some of the players. So it'll be a variation, which they've done in the past. So instead of doing a number to 50 card, I believe they're a number to 25s with all the different parallels. So you have Judge, McCutchen, Chipper Jones, Clayton Kershaw, Cal Ripken, Derek Jeter. So interesting enough, Derek Jeter only has 1 auto subject. So you're probably only going to get 1 Jeter auto instead of 2. Some guys will get 2 in that set. Ichiro, Hank Aaron, Glaber's got a rookie auto in there.
That's right. Gleyber Torres as
Yeah,
rookie.
so another rookie. Soto, Acuna, Devers, Hoskins. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani has 2 different parallels in there, so he should come out very regularly. And then you have a Mike Trout through the years autograph starting at 1952. So they're going to take the 1952 design and go all the way up to the 2018 design. Everyone's going to be a 1-of-1. And those ones, depending on what year and what people love, those should go for probably $1,000 minimum, even on the worst year, even on the least sought-after year. And then Superfractors. I didn't like that they have Ahmed Rosario in there. If you get the case that has the Ahmed Rosario Superfractor, that sucks. That's a kick in the junk. But everybody else is pretty good. I mean, Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter 19, and these are 1952 Superfractors. So it's a 1952 design. It's a Superfractor 1-of-1. We all love Superfractors. They haven't done this before.
Well, Ahmed Rosario, Chris Sale doesn't sell for well. Bernie Williams, I'm not really sure why he's in there.
He's a Yankee great. Yeah, so Bernie Williams will probably be that, when we said worst case scenario, it'll probably be Bernie Williams.
Rizzo, Pettit, Al Kaline.
Yeah, guys that sign a lot.
There's about 25% of the Superfractor checklist that you kind of don't want. 75% of it will do pretty well.
Yeah, interesting they got McCutcheon in there as well, who doesn't sign a lot. So he's in there.
New Philly?
New Philly, yeah, New Philly. They paid a lot for Andrew McCutcheon.
Ooh, Ian Happ.
Yeah, Ian Happ, that's going to be kind of tough. These are still the Superfractors, right? Yeah. Two different Mike Trouts, which is interesting. So you're going to get your fill on Mike Trout in this set. Ronald Acuna, and I believe there might be 2 Shohei Superfractors, too, if I remember correctly, in this as well. Yep, 2 Shohei Ohtani's Superfractors. So probably different photo variations. Sandy Koufax has the Brooklyn Dodgers and LA Dodgers. And then they have the active auto relics, which I'm assuming these are the 1-of-1 relics. They are the 83 design. Look real sharp. It was that Jeter photo we showed. Tough ones on there would be Ahmed Rosario, but you got all the guys that we'd mentioned before pretty much. And you've got Chris Bryant, Trout, Acuna, all these guys. These rookie ones should go well, do very well. Auto relic books. These are guys that are past. Gary Carter, unfortunately, that's a tough one to get because he has a million cut autos out there. We have 100 of them ourselves.
Besides that, it's a solid checklist.
Yeah, Snyder, Clemente, Shane Deese, Williams, Spahn. And this is extra. This isn't even the oversized. This is the extra hit. So you're either going to get that 93 patch auto card or you're going to get an auto relic book, one or the other. So, and then oversized cut signatures, you've got just a wacky group. Yeah, Abbott and Costello, Albert Einstein, Amelia Earhart, B.B. King, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Babe Ruth, Chuck Berry, Cy Young, Evel Knievel, Grover Cleveland, Gerald Ford, George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, Humphrey Bogart, Harry Houdini, John Belushi, Joe DiMaggio, Jack Dempsey, Jimmy Fox, John Kennedy, Jim Henson, Jackie Robinson, Jim Thorpe, Jim Valvano, Newt Rockney, Lou Gehrig, Nap Lajoie, Roger Maris, Sammy Davis Jr., Tom Petty. So it's a really, really, really strong oversized cut auto checklist. So
Jim Brown?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Jim Brown
on the oversized cut auto list. I don't know.
Sammy Davis Jr. would be pretty dope though.
Sammy Davis Jr., Martin Van Buren, Thurman Munson. And then these things are 5x7 sized with a cut auto in the middle. Really sharp looking cards. So, but once again, we've got 2 different styles of breaks going down at mojobreak.com for Transcendent this Friday. Be a part of it. There's only 83 cases made, so you really can't wait a week to buy into a break. They're probably going to be gone pretty quick. And especially like we said this year with the Trout Party being the same weekend as the dealer party, dealers are going to be buying these passes.
Yeah, the Topps convention, the dealer convention, is going to be, 2 days after?
Yes, so people are going to be down there probably anyway.
2 days after. So you're going to see a lot of dealers try to buy these passes because they're going to have to take the flight down to Scottsdale or wherever it's going to be. Anyway, but we did a break where we're pulling out the pass, and we're doing it for like $103.
Yeah, so we're pulling out the pass because we want to get that Trout stuff, and we're going to be down there anyway. And
I think we valued the pass
way high.
Too high.
Yeah, we're actually selling that whole case without the pass for like $19K, like $11,000 off.
Yeah, $11,000 below what retail is going to be. Those passes are probably going to sell for around $5,000.
Yeah, I mean, and it's an interesting time. What we talked about it off air is that it's Christmas time. Is there a lot of people that have $5 to $10K to spend? So we'll see. We'll have to monitor these things. Come Friday, over the weekend, the next hype, we're going to probably talk about what these passes are going to go for.
And honestly, with dealers, you think, well, of course there's going to be dealers who are going to want to buy it. Let me tell you right now, the fourth quarter in this industry, there's tons of releases. This is where a lot of dealers, a lot of shops, a lot of group breakers, your cash flow takes a significant hit. So you don't have tons of extra cash flow that you can buy this pass with because you have tons of bills that are due from, all the fourth quarter releases.
And it has been a good card year, though, so you don't know.
It has been.
It's
been a good year, but still, you got to remember how many products started coming out at the beginning of October through the end of December. So it's an interesting time for sure. I mean, we knew this going into it. We actually went a little bit lighter on our pre-orders, knowing that, the market starts to see a little bit of a fatigue around this time based on, again, Christmas season, people going out buying gifts, don't have a ton of, personal disposable income. So it gets a little, and you see that with the secondary market with singles as well.
Yeah.
They tend to get a little soft around this time of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time to buy some singles, specifically at auction too. Because some people are smart and they're going to buy it now on some of the older stuff, but some auctions you can get great deals. We got some good stuff in the chat, guys. I appreciate the feedback, and if you're listening to the podcast, you could always submit questions on Twitter at MojoBreak_com, through our Facebook page, and also add yourself onto the Fans of Mojo Break Facebook page. It's a great group of people. We talk about cards, we do trades, we talk about current events. That's how I found out about this Mark Jackson thing. Was through Fans of Mojo Break. So I think it might have been Jeff August that put that up there, and it's one of the stories today. But Max asks, what are you guys going to do when you meet Mike Trout? Well, if I met Mike Trout, my nipples would be hard, I'd be foaming at the mouth, and I would sound like I'm going to a Britney Spears concert as a teeny bopper. No, I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm usually too cool for school, so I'd probably wait for Mike Trout to come talk to me because, no, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm not going, so I can't really theoretically tell you what I would do, but Dan, what will you do?
Let me break it down. This will be my third Transcendent party, and I have kept it pretty consistent every single year. I'll show up, I'm gonna have a couple sodas, maybe a couple cocktails.
Okay.
I'm gonna shove my face with food, which I've done every year.
Okay.
And I'm gonna wait to see if I win any free stuff, like extra giveaways. And I'm probably gonna hang out and talk to Ryan Teddards. It pretty much sums up like what I
3 years in a row. That means it's like a Transcendent party almost.
Yeah.
Transcendent.
So gonna hang out, talk a little S to Ryan, and he now lives there, so I expect him to.
Busta said salad isn't food, Dan,
oh,
and Long Arms Mike says you're gonna ignore him like Tom Glavine. So,
but yeah, I mean, it really depends. It really, the Hank Aaron party. It was more of a Q&A with everybody. I don't really have the stones to get up and ask a question. I'm not.
Ooh, yeah, that was good times.
I'm not Doug, who's like, hey, and as soon as you raised your hand, I'm all.
You guys know me. Here, let's give them the backstory because we do have new listeners. Let me guess. We gain one listener every month, but we do have some new ones that may have not heard that podcast. So the last Transcendent party was with Hank Aaron. It was amazing. He did an hour talking about baseball, talking about the history of baseball, his history of baseball, and he took some questions. And you guys know me. I'm a Barry Bonds guy through and through. I mean, I've had arguments with you guys in the chat, and I'm always, big on Barry Bonds. It was my hero growing up. So I had the stones to ask Hank Aaron what he thought about Barry Bonds' swing and if he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I think everybody was surprised by my question. I might have tinkled a little bit. I was so nervous. And I have some audio of it somewhere, and he said, Barry Bonds' swing got stronger as he got older, and I think the Hall of Fame stuff, I can't comment on it, but I think it'll work itself out, was his response. But I wanted him to say Barry is the GOAT, but it's probably hard for him to say when he thinks he's the GOAT.
I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're talking about. If anybody knows you and they saw your hand up, the question was not a surprise. I think literally everybody saw Doug's hand go up and they're all, oh, here comes the Barry Bonds question.
Barry Bonds! I had a couple sodas at that time too, so there might have been like a little slur in my speech, but I just had to know. I just had to know when am I ever going to get the opportunity to ask one of the greatest of all time, probably the biggest living legend of baseball of all time, who's still alive, about what he thought about kind of my hero. So I went for it.
Maybe we can do. You're not going to be there, but maybe we can do another podcast with Rich Layton and Ryan Teddards.
I thought you were going to say I was going to ask Mike Trout in honor of me what he thinks about Barry Bonds.
Oh yeah,
I think that's what you should do.
Yeah, I was going to raise my hand and go, hey, Doug wasn't able to make it, and he's all, who the hell's Doug? And I'm all, so. Are you better than Barry Bonds? What's up, dude?
I think you need to do that, dude.
But I
think so.
I think we may do another podcast, into the night, after dark, whatever you want to call it. I think it was probably one of the best ones we've done.
Off the record, yeah.
Off the record. It was a little sloppy, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Maybe we'll do another one.
Wait, Doug, you're not planning to go this year?
Well, here's the thing. So my schedule gets busy. My wife tries to plan our family events around my schedule. And I think it was like 6 months ago where she was like, hey, the family's going out to Reno to do a snow event. And we're going to stay. We got a Groupon to stay at this at the Pepper Mill, which most of you guys don't know where that is. But we're going to stay at the Pepper Mill. She's like, it's February 22nd. Which is actually my mom's birthday weekend, but I was like, maybe we'll try to plan something around my mom's birthday. I'm like, yeah, let's go. We'll do it. We'll figure it out. So then I look at the calendar like 2 months ago because I'm always last to plan things out. I'm like, damn it, Mike Trout. So, I had to, happy wife, happy life, right? So plus my kids are young. Snow doesn't snow over here very often. So I'm gonna miss out on Mike Trout. I'm gonna remind my wife the whole time though about how I'm missing out on Mike Trout. So
don't worry, dude.
Hopefully she's ready for that.
Don't worry, I'll call you.
Yeah, dude, maybe you can FaceTime me in.
I will call you right before the podcast that I do. So I'm, nice and in the zone.
Yeah. Peppermill is. I think I've been there, but I never stayed there. So, we also have a question not related to Transcendent, but it's a great question from Ralph in the chat. Do you have time to discuss about low ballers on Facebook and eBay, where you're already selling the card lower than comps, and folks are still asking for half price from your original price? Dan, I want you to take that question and see what your opinion is on that one.
Well, the thing is about this industry is that we're all selling a sellable. So people try to get something where they can buy it from you and sell it and make a profit. Somebody buys it from you for half the price, then they can sell it for the price that you're asking. Mm-hmm. They make a profit. So that is why you have to deal with that on a regular basis, because we're all selling sellables.
Yeah. Well, is there a way to do it? Like, I actually had, it wasn't a card, but it was wax. And this guy was on our, we're part of these sports group forums. And this guy was like, Bowman Draft or whatever. He's like, Bowman Draft. I'm selling cases of Bowman Draft. Anybody want it? So I private messaged him, like, hey, what are you looking at? And his price was way higher than I was willing to pay. So I told him, I'm paying this much. And he goes, I can't sell it for that much. And I just said, no worries. And I think that's the best way to leave the conversation. I think a lot of times people get too personal on it. Well, I think you blah, 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 blah. It's like if somebody, I just think I'm pretty nice. So if somebody's offended or they don't like my price, I usually just move on. I don't even try to talk them down. And there's a lot of people that they think they're salesmen on the internet, so they try to talk you down. They try to get some extra stuff out of it. Okay, I'll pay you $180, but can you give me like with us? Can you give me a spot and break too, and I'll sell to you? Or like no, we're just trying to negotiate here. So I think I think that's important. I'm glad you brought that up. That if somebody does say a price, and a lot of people don't know what this stuff sold for. So like, say you have, let's just use an example of an Ohtani Atomic Auto. Let's just say Ohtani Bowman Atomic Auto. It sells for $2,700. It's numbered to $100, right? Or it's numbered to $100, right? Well, somebody that's new to eBay, they may look up Ohtani Auto to $100, and they may see a Donruss one that sold for $400. So they're like, I'll offer you $400 because they don't know. They don't know that is higher on that specific set because they're new. So they may not be well informed as a buyer.
I think 90% of the time though, it's because they're trying to get they're trying to get a deal.
It's hard not to see it that way.
They're trying to get a deal to where they have room to be able to flip it and make money. And in a short term.
Right.
Like not even a long term. It's one thing to like prospect on a guy, hold on to the card for, a year or two, then sell it. But a lot of these dealers on the internet, on eBay, stuff like that, are trying to get something at, half the price, be able to flip it. And for them, it's a safe investment. And they're basically just hoping somebody is like desperate enough to move it. I mean, what I was seeing a lot, and you may have saw it a little bit on Facebook, people backing out of Kareem Hunt cards. Or not paying for them, or getting them and saying, hey, I bought this as a gift for a Chiefs fan, and he's not obviously Kareem Hunt's not on the Chiefs anymore, so I'd like to return this.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's
it's,
bad eBay.
It's actually happening a lot, specifically with Kareem Hunt. It's funny because we bought a Kareem Hunt RPA at a National Treasures. What? Maybe 5 days before it happened. Mm-hmm. Sitting on it. I don't have the stones to basically contact somebody and say, hey, this card, I bought it for $350. It's now worth about $20. Can I get my money back?
Right.
You should get your eBay like account just blocked.
You should.
Forever.
I mean, it's a binding agreement, and it goes the same way with an injury. So say you're buying an NT Carson Wentz, and right before that Rams game last year, and you win it, and you're like, oh, I got this NTRPA for $1,500, but now his leg's broken, so I'm gonna cancel this deal. No, you bid on it with the expectation that he was a healthy player, and the seller was selling it based on he was a healthy player. It's not the seller's fault that he got hurt, or it's not the seller's fault that Kareem Hunt, beat up a chick or whatever he did. He wasn't nice to a girl in a hotel at 3 a.m. in the morning in Cleveland. It wasn't the seller's fault, so you got to take your losses that way. Stuff like that happens. Now, it's very rare that it happens, but you can't back out of a deal that's just not good.
I will tell you this, though, and this is probably not going to have a lot of fans with this statement, but as far as the market and in this industry, Kareem Hunt may be a buy right now because it is literally as low as it's ever going to get, right? Kareem Hunt will get another shot in the NFL.
He's going to have a lot to prove.
He will get another shot in the NFL. He's already come out. He had his interview. He said he's sorry. He's going to go
He didn't make any excuses.
He didn't make any excuses. He's going to like, anger management classes and stuff like that. He'll get his suspension of like probably 4 to 6 games, something like that next year, and he will be on another team.
Yeah.
And if you believe in his talent and his ability, you can get his stuff right now dirt cheap. It's never going to be as low as it is right now.
More than likely.
And he will get another shot. He will absolutely 100% get another shot.
Yeah, I agree. And Jeff says great in the chat. It's a gamble and you lost. So it's not the person's fault that you bought it from, especially if you're doing any way you buy it. If it's a buy it now or an auction, it ain't, don't make the guy that's selling it his problem anymore. You bought it, so you have to deal with it.
It's actually similar to a fantasy football trade. Let's say you traded Kareem Hunt, you had him, and you accepted the trade without knowing that he got hurt. How do you handle that?
Right.
Do you basically say too bad? Like you got?
I mean, I think in a fantasy football instance, you can't. You have to take the trade. If you accept the trade, then that's on you.
Yeah.
So you should do your research ahead of time. Same thing with Kareem Hunt. I mean, you couldn't have probably found this out, but don't buy running backs anyway. I mean, don't buy running, especially not in the rookie year.
You may want to buy Kareem Hunt right now, or into the offseason. But I'm telling you,
offseason may be the time.
Come September, we're gonna find out that Kareem Hunt signed with somebody else, and it may be a really good team. It may be a team that he's poised to be. He would fit in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So,
well, $5,000. Here comes the question.
Kareem Hunt.
We buy Kareem Hunt. So if somebody gave you $5,000 to buy one card to invest in, one card, not multiple cards, not wax, not nothing, not a car, not a video game, what card would you buy? So, and we also have this on our Facebook group as well, so you can comment on there. There was a lot of great comments. C-Rat, putting you on the spot. 5K.
Yes,
what
sir.
would you buy?
This is easy. It's right on the screen. Michael Jordan rookie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Jordan Bell.
Dan and Jared Goff RPA?
No.
No?
You gotta go with something that is going to consistently go up. I would take my chances on the best Tom Brady rookie I can get.
Which I believe is that 2000 SPX, which is unfortunate. His prices are so damn high that a card number to
Not even
1350.
sniffing that contenders all
No,
around.
I know, man. We bought. What did we buy that one contenders for? $5,000.
4,500.
And we put it in that break, and man, that contenders is worth like $10K now. I mean, it's insane. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would go Tom Brady. Yeah. That Jeter's a pretty strong investment.
You know what else? I'll give one more bonus answer besides that Jordan rookie. I would invest in the first edition Pokemon Charizard foil card, the non-shadow version.
Does it go for 5K?
I think I could buy like maybe a couple.
One
of
card,
them.
dude. I'm just kidding. But what about you guys? Would anybody buy Patrick Mahomes?
No.
No.
I wouldn't buy any new guy.
See, we all play it safe, but I mean, these are like if you compare it to stock, these are like the safe like
Blue
stocks.
chip.
Yeah,
Blue
it
chip.
is a blue chip. Yeah. See, I invest a little bit in stocks, but I don't know the terminology yet. But these are ones that are safe investments.
This
on
is not
5K.
the weed. This isn't the weed stocks.
But you could buy a low-numbered Pat Mahomes, and it could be 10K by the end of the season, which would be the weed stock, right?
Would
So
be the weed
Patrick
stock.
Mahomes would be the equivalent to the weed stock right now.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, that is an interesting take.
Getting that Jordan's like buying stock in Google.
Hey, let me show you some guys.
I think I would invest in Jose Uribe to be completely honest. There you go, Charizard, and that's only a 9. 1999 Pokemon Charizard. But you got to visually like looking at that. So you got to love Pokemon. 1999 Pokemon. That's crazy.
So what's that going to do when I'm playing the game? Is that gonna give me magic powers?
Nah, that's just the greatest Pokemon ever created.
But you play a game with that, right?
Nah, you just look at it. I was kidding. Yeah, you play a game with it.
So is it like, does it give you like special powers? Is it unbeatable? Because I was actually having this discussion with Doug. Since it is graded, say you buy that and you're like playing whatever Pokemon
Yeah, do you play
game
with it graded?
or Magic the Gathering, and you probably have your handful of cards and you're like trying to figure out which one to play. But if you have one that's graded, can you play that? Isn't somebody going to know, oh shit, this guy has a graded card, it must be pretty good, I don't want to play that guy?
The way that card games works is that they always do it by seasons. So like these OG cards, the old ones,
They're
not
retired?
they're not in regular play. Yeah, they're retired.
Ah.
Are they like in tournament play? Like
No.
the world championship of Pokemon?
No, nobody does like the way they're played. Nobody does like a big tournament with old cards because the game's always evolving.
We're actually watching this end right now. With 15, there's 15
Oh,
seconds
oh,
left.
26 bid. Ooh.
Oh!
Oh, do it.
Drop a bid.
Do it, C-Red. Actually, you're probably logged into this Mojo break. Don't do it.
Oh! Is it going to jump? Is it?
Oh, God.
Oh, I think it went for 46, 49, right?
You didn't hit the bid on that.
46.50.
Wow, it didn't even move in the last 20 seconds there. Man.
We found something.
I found something similar, but it was PSA 8. Well, there was actually a guy that replied to us on Twitter that was talking about the Magic the Gathering Power 9s, which is the Black Lotus. I think there's some other stuff. I don't know anything about this stuff. I don't act like I know anything about this stuff, but I was looking at the prices, and the Power 9 Magic the Gathering cards go for 5, 6, 7, 8K, and if they're graded 10s, it's like ridiculous. So is that the same thing as Pokemon where you can't play that?
Yep.
They do the tournament. So do they do throwbacks? They're all throwback in a 1999 set?
Like and the thing about trading card games is that the less they reprint it, the more valuable the original ones are worth.
Oh, so they'll just retire that version then.
Well, wasn't there a Magic?
See, yeah, right there.
Wasn't there a Magic the Gathering?
23,000 out of 1993 Magic the Gathering Beta Black Lotus BGS 9.
Wasn't there a Magic the Gathering set that came out that was kind of similar to a best of, where they repackaged some of the higher end cards?
I think so. Yeah, they did that.
I don't know.
I
actually don't know what I'm talking about right now.
I don't either. Yeah, I have no clue.
Pokemon?
No clue. But to answer the question for me, back to what would I spend 5K on? this would be probably the unpopular pick right now, but I would invest the lowest numbered that I could get for 5K KD Topps Chrome refractor. So if it was like an orange or whatever, or a BGS 10 regular refractor, I think his refractors go for about $1,500 right now. I think it's kind of low. I think this man's going to win another championship this year, and wherever he goes, he's going to win more championships. And people hate him right now, but by the time he retires, he's going to be a Mount Rushmore type of player.
History only remembers the stats.
I don't know about that, man. I think KD's kind of bounced around a little too much. And how many teams is he going to play for?
None. He's going to stay with the Warriors.
He ain't staying with the Warriors.
So
they're actually, I was reading something today that it's Kawhi and KD are going to go to the Clippers.
I heard that rumor too, but we'll see.
Wants to play with the Clippers.
If you have Kyrie and KD, and they're already pretty good, right?
Well, and that's a good point to bring up before we're running out of time here, and I wanted to talk briefly about the new Bowman draft coming out. But the guys we have on the screen here, Jordan, Jeter, Brady, have all played with one team their entire career.
No.
Oh, are you trying to say Jordan played baseball?
No, he played for the Wizards.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, not really, though.
No,
I mean,
no.
He did.
He did.
Okay, well, you got me on technicality there, but
No, I got you in just straight facts.
but I'm saying he won. His retirement home was in Washington. His farewell tour was in Washington, but he didn't do anything in Washington. Nobody has any besides like some obscure upper deck cards.
How many years did he play? Like 2-3 years. He was the best player on the team.
Well, yeah.
The team was terrible.
Did he play with Gilbert Arenas? Was he on the team?
I think Arenas was there. Maybe. I don't.
Okay. Well, but I'm just saying, maybe is that a knock on KD? I mean, is that a knock on LeBron? If LeBron wins some more titles,
LeBron's LeBron. KD will never be LeBron.
Okay. All right.
LeBron's the. Again, I'm gonna say it. I'm proud.
I have not heard about the new Tom Brady scandal. I want to hear more though. I want to look it up.
LeBron is the most marketable and the best player in the history of the NBA.
Okay.
So
all right.
freely let him use Royce.
LeBron versus Jordan. Dan's team LeBron.
All day. I always have been.
Just like he likes guys that flop, so he's probably gonna start collecting Blake Griffin as well. So, and yeah, so better than Michael Jordan.
Can you even find any like decent LeBrons for 5K? Like I thought they were all more expensive than
You can get the regular Topps Chrome for like $900.
Yeah,
but any refractor, you could
what
probably
does
get a
that tell you?
refractor under 5K.
What does that tell you?
That he's
the best.
It's pretty good. I mean, he's lost more finals than anybody in NBA history.
But he's been to a lot.
He has been there. He's always second place.
If you want to invest in sports cars long term, the only ones to get is Michael Jordan and Tom Brady.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, if you were starting a collection, would you start Michael Jordan, Tom Brady? Probably. You'd probably have to have them first, right?
Hell yeah.
Something, whatever you could afford. All right, 2018 Bowman Draft releases Friday along with Transcendent. It's going to be just baseball mania here at MojoBreak.com. We've got breaks all day of Bowman Draft, and they're just selling like crazy, which is insane for this time of year because usually Bowman Draft takes a little while to mature, kind of like a wine. It doesn't really mature until April when spring training happens. But I wanted to go over a few of the notable names that are in the product and the initial buzz. I actually got some data from Blowout on what some of the auctions were selling for on players. And the top guy is kind of an interesting one for me is Jared Kelenic, who is actually part of the trade for Robinson Cano. So he was drafted by the Mets, and now he's on the Mariners. And this thing happened in November. So I'm pretty sure Jared Kelenic's cards, you guys may already know, are going to be on the Mets, even though he's not on the Mets. But he is the number one selling guy in a 5K player auction. So that early data to me, Jared Kelenic seems to be one of the top guys coming out of draft so far, and that'll change. That'll change come April, like I just said. But he's a versatile, toolsy sort and brings quite a bit to the table as a prospect, a center fielder by trade. Kelenic is also a pitcher who could bring a strong throwing arm to any position in the outfield. He's a 60 runner with a 70 arm, but they say he's got all the tools, which, they always say all that stuff about prospects. So he's going to be probably the top selling guy right out of the gates.
Was he drafted in 17?
He was drafted in 18.
It's 18.
Yeah.
It's never a good sign And he was a first rounder, I'm assuming.
He was a 6th overall.
6th overall.
Yeah.
It's never a good sign when a team is willing to give up on a player they drafted in the first round.
He's
the previous
19
year.
though. So.
I know, but they're willing to give up on him already. Like we've seen it one time before in the last 5 years. We saw it with Dansby Swanson, first overall pick, getting moved from Arizona to Atlanta. And how has that turned out? I think Arizona saw something in Swanson that they were like, he's not worthy of the first overall pick.
Well, I mean, you got to kind of look at the body of work here. I think the Mariners are in a rebuild mode. I think the Mariners are willing to wait on a Jared Kelenic, where the Mets, they've got that pitching staff right now, and they're trying to win now. So they're getting Cano, who can contribute right now.
I get
That's
that.
the only reason
I
why.
get that. You got to give up something to get something in return. I get that, but if this guy is truly going to be a future of a franchise and a future all-star, why would you give up on him for an aging Robinson Cano?
And Busta actually, Swanson had a good year last year. Braves made the playoffs.
He had
a decent year. He didn't have a bad year.
I think he hit 240 or 250, right?
Right.
And he's been injured. He's had injury issues ever since he's been called up. Now, granted, I think the Braves called him up a lot faster than they should have.
Yeah.
He was up
Almost instantly.
He basically, I don't even know, did he spend a full year in the minors?
I don't think so. But was he a 4-year college guy though? I think he was. He was a little bit more seasoned.
I think he was.
So that might be the difference there. And I just highlighted 3 guys, and we'll go through this because we got Playbook coming up. I don't know if we have any teams left in Playbook. They've been selling like hotcakes. Nolan Gorman was the second guy on their list as far as selling early enough. We do have some teams left in Playbook, guys. The Jets, the Titans, the Redskins, Cowboys, a few teams left. And this stuff was amazing this weekend. Or this morning, sorry. Lost track of my days. So get your teams in on that. Nolan Gorman for the Cardinals, another young kid. And to make you guys feel old, this guy was born in 2000. Born in 2000. I was just graduating high school. This guy was being born.
Be my kid.
And he's a third baseman. And he has probably the most power out of anybody coming out of this draft class. He was in multiple home run derbies at all-star games in high school. And 6'1", still young, raw power. Collectors love the long ball. He's on the right team. So his stuff's been, people have been trying to get his stuff already and, load up for Bowman draft. So he's another guy. And the third guy I have is Jordan Groshans from the Blue Jays, who's a shortstop, another young kid. Three of these guys are like 19s. It's crazy. And he's also another guy that can hit really well. He's 6'1", so he's a little bit big for a shortstop, but we've had some big frame shortstops in the past. And I think the Blue Jays, with all those prospect talents, that's coming through the pipeline, Bichette, Vlad, they've got an extreme amount of talent coming through. I think that's kind of bumped the hype up on the Blue Jays team for draft, and this guy's been selling well out the gate. So that's the other guy that sold well. Some other notables, Connor Scott for the Marlins, which surprised me, was the fourth bestseller. Jonathan India for the Reds, Alec Baum for the Phillies, Madrigal. Shows you how far pitchers have fallen off. The first overall pick, Casey Mize to the Tigers, was like 11th or 12th on the list. So he was first overall. But us Bowman guys, a lot of Bowman guys don't like to collect pitchers. So,
dude, the winter meetings are in Vegas.
They are. They're at the Mandalay Bay, actually.
It's funny because Bryce Harper, he lives in Las Vegas, and he's a free agent. Scott Boras is down there. There's a lot going on. I know it's off topic. Where does, since we're close, Bryce Harper's probably going to pick a team in the next couple weeks, right? Where's Bryce Harper going to go?
So that fool really ain't trying to stay over there in Washington?
No, he's gone. He's going to the Dodgers.
Where's Harper going? Harper's going to the Dodgers. What about C-Rad? Where's Harper going?
The Oakland Athletics. Let's go. Let's go.
Not with Scott Boras.
It's funny. It's funny that we just laugh. It's not even an option.
I wonder if there was odds on that. I wonder if we went on Vegas odds right now of where he lands. I wonder where the A's would be.
They're talking right now. They've been talking about the White Sox.
The White Sox are a dark horse.
They're talking about the White Sox. I don't think he's going to go to the White Sox. I think he's going to go to the Phillies. I think the Phillies are going to go all in. I think they're going for it.
Well, and that might help Alec Baum, who was drafted, who's a guy in draft for the Phillies at third base. I mean,
Cubs are an option. And then Machado. Can you remember two players of this caliber being free agents at the same time?
That's crazy.
Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and they're both young. They're both like in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
So
Machado's not a Boris client though, is he?
I don't think so.
Harper is.
If you were to pick one of the players, Machado or Harper?
Probably Machado.
I'd go Machado. Machado is not as flashy. It'll probably be a little bit more fun to go to a ballpark and watch Bryce Harper play than watch Manny Machado play.
Yeah.
But Manny Machado is probably going to get you some more wins.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. I was listening to Le Batard show this morning, and I didn't even know because they're from Miami, and they were talking about Jose Fernandez was a Scott Boras client. So they said that during the funeral, he had like crocodile tears. He refused.
What's a crocodile tear?
Fake tears.
Oh.
That
what?
He, as a number one agent, and so this was I think it was, this is allegedly because I can't remember exactly who the interview was with, but I think it was the GM of the Marlins, and he had no death clause. Boras didn't set up with any death clause in his contract. Didn't set him up with any life insurance. Nothing. So literally gets all this money from having Jose Fernandez, and he doesn't provide his family with anything after he passed away. He didn't even offer to pay for the funeral. The Marlins organization had to step in and pay for the funeral.
Are you saying that Jose Fernandez didn't have any money?
He was on a rookie contract still. He didn't.
Oh, really?
Contract. Yeah. So he had no. But you can get like a lot of these guys have death clauses to have their kids set up. So they're saying this guy obviously doesn't care about any of the well-being of his clients. He just cares about the bottom dollar.
Look at the guy. You think he does?
No, I mean you look at his face, and I think that's agreeable amongst everybody. Him and Drew Rosenhaus are notorious for that.
Scott Boras has a face you want to punch.
He does. I mean, but that's what they're saying. So like, but how do you stop that? I'm like, if guys stopped, dealing with Scott Boras, then none of their players would get paid, and he'd get them out of the league because he just rapes teams on money, and he doesn't help his players out. So
actually, name one time where Scott Boras actually got played by an organization.
Never.
Never. I mean, I always being a Giants fan, I always remember the Zito contract.
Oh yeah. Worked out for one postseason.
It worked out for one postseason, but that was probably one of the biggest busts in San Francisco Giants free agent history. Him and Elgardo Alfonso was a tough one for the Giants. They gave him a lot of money, and he sucked, and I think he was like 10 years older than he was claiming he was. He had the Miguel Tejada.
Man, he's been around in the 1990s. He had Keith Hernandez, Alex Fernandez, Charles Johnson, Rob Nen, Jay Bell, and Jim Abbott. I'm just reading some of his clients. Barry Bonds. He's had Greg Maddux, Alex Rodriguez.
How much do you think Boras makes on each one of his clients? You think it's like 10%?
I think so.
Oh. No, you think it's less? 5%? What do you think, TJ?
Even if it's 5%, that's a significant amount of money.
He has a net worth of $400 million.
$400 million.
So, but I don't know. He's got a lot of clients.
How many innings has he pitched in the old MLB? Zero. How many home runs does Scott Boras have?
He's a super salesman.
Zero.
Super salesman. Well, I think that is it. We've ran a little bit over time on the show, but we do have spots available for Playbook. I think the random sold out, but the Playbook Case 3 is coming up next, guys. So get in on that. Thanks for listening to the show. And get in on some Transcendent. Join us this Friday for Transcendent Baseball. 2 different styles of breaks. Find out which one you like better. And we also have Elite Extra Edition today and Bowman Draft coming out on Friday. Contenders Football is coming out soon, too. So we've got lots of stuff on the site to choose from. So check it out. You could use code MojoBreak on any team style to save 10% on your teams. Oh, it doesn't work on randoms, but it works on team style. So thank you guys for tuning into the Hype Show 71. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Friendster, MySpace, any of those avenues. We're there. Check us out. We'll see you guys next week on the Hype.
Thanks for watching this episode. Visit mojobreak.com for more info and your break spot. And we will see you next time on